The glass of orange juice on your breakfast table is doing more damage to your kidneys than a can of Coke. Not opinion, biochemistry. And it happens before 8 a.m. every single morning while you think you're being healthy. Most people trying to protect their kidneys cut salt, drink more water, and avoid junk food. Almost nobody cuts orange juice. But the specific sugar in juice, fructose, hits your kidneys through a completely separate, far more destructive path than any other sugar. And your kidneys have been dealing with it alone, silently, every single day. Here's the mechanism nobody in these videos ever explains properly. Your kidneys contain approximately 1 million microscopic filters per kidney, called nephrons. Think of them as tiny funnels, each one cleaning a small portion of your blood before passing it back into circulation. Inside those funnels sit specialized protein channels called SGLT2 transporters. Picture them as tiny revolving doors inside your kidney that pull sugar back into your blood so your body doesn't lose energy through your urine. Under a normal sugar load, those doors spin at a manageable pace. Fine, no problem. But here's where it gets specific, and where almost every other video gets it wrong. Not all sugars hit those doors equally. Fructose, the sugar in fruit juice, soda, honey, and most packaged health drinks, takes a completely different processing path through your body than regular sugar does. While regular glucose gets distributed to your muscles, your brain, and your organs all over the body, fructose is processed almost exclusively by your liver and your kidneys. It floods a system that was built for small, occasional loads. Here's a way to picture it. Glucose is like a taxi with 100 different destinations. Fructose is like a taxi with one destination, and that destination is your kidney. Every gram, every time. No detours. When that taxi unloads, it leaves behind two things: uric acid, the exact waste product that causes kidney stones and gout, and microscopic rust forming inside your tissue. We're talking about unstable molecules punching tiny holes in structures that took decades to build. The data on this is wild. Dr. David Jalal at the University of Colorado studied over 3,000 adults and found that those drinking the most fructose had a 61% higher chance of showing the earliest warning sign of kidney damage, tiny amounts of protein leaking into their urine. That leakage is your kidney's way of saying the filtration wall is starting to crack. And these weren't people with diabetes or obesity. These were regular adults. Just higher fructose intake. And almost nobody is talking about this. Here's why this isn't an abstract science problem. This is a Tuesday morning problem. The average adult has roughly the same breakfast ritual. Something quick, something they consider reasonable, and almost always something to drink. A glass of juice, a smoothie, a flavored yogurt drink, maybe a sports drink if they worked out. Each of those, in a single serving, can carry between 20 and 35 grams of fructose, hitting the dedicated kidney processing path before 9 a.m. Now meet Paul. He's 47, works in logistics management in Arizona, sits at a desk most of the day, and has been told by his doctor that his blood pressure is a little high. Just watch it. He doesn't consider himself unhealthy. He walks to the car park. He eats home-cooked dinners most nights. He doesn't drink alcohol. But every morning for 11 years, he's had 2 glasses of freshly squeezed orange juice, because he genuinely believed it was one of the healthiest things he does. His knees ached. His energy crashed every day around 2 p.m. He had 1 kidney stone, 3 days in hospital, the kind of pain he described as worse than anything I have ever felt. And he blamed it on not drinking enough water. The water was not the problem. Paul cut the juice. He kept the oranges, ate them whole with the fiber still in them. Within 2 weeks, his afternoon energy crash was gone. By day 3, he'd noticed something smaller, but just as real. He'd stopped reaching for something sweet after lunch. The craving that had felt like willpower was actually just a blood sugar spike looking for a way down. Within 6 weeks, his doctor noted his blood pressure had dropped into the normal range, without any medication. He'd changed nothing else, just the liquid fructose gone. His kidneys had been waiting 11 years for that one decision. The science explains exactly why it worked, and why eating the whole fruit is genuinely not the same thing as drinking it. The water, by the way, was never anyone's problem. Water has been quietly innocent this entire time. Most videos on this topic tell you sugar is bad for your kidneys. They describe the overfiltering, mention kidney stones, and water retention and inflammation, say, cut sugar, and leave you standing there. What they don't tell you is that cutting sugar without knowing which sugar is like trying to fix a leak without knowing which pipe is broken. Here's the critical distinction. Whole fruit, even sweet fruit, even a mango, even a banana, does not hit the kidney's fructose processing path the same way liquid fructose does. The fiber wrapped around every sugar molecule in whole fruit slows digestion down, blunts how fast fructose arrives, and gives your liver and kidneys time to handle it gradually, in manageable amounts. The fructose in a glass of juice, a shop-bought smoothie with no fiber, or a can of soda arrives all at once, at full concentration, with nothing slowing it down. Not fruit, actually fruit juice. Those are not the same food. They are not even close to the same food once they're inside your body. The other thing those videos miss entirely, the connection between movement and kidney protection. There's now a well-established class of diabetes medications, you may have heard of them, specifically designed to block those revolving doors inside your kidneys, reduce filtration pressure, and protect kidney function. They cost money. They require a prescription. They have side effects. Regular brisk walking, specifically timed after meals, does something remarkably similar through a completely different route. It drives sugar into your muscle tissue directly, reducing the amount that reaches your kidneys in the hour after you eat, precisely when kidney pressure spikes highest. A study by Bellini and colleagues at the University of Rome Foro Italico, published in the journal Nutrients, found that 30 minutes of brisk walking after a meal substantially reduced the blood sugar peak that follows, and the timing mattered more than almost any other factor tested. The walk after dinner is doing something a walk before breakfast simply cannot. The drug companies built a billion-dollar industry around a problem that a 30-minute post-dinner walk partially solves for free. Before we get into exactly what to do, one question, and I want a real answer, because your answer tells you more about your kidney risk than most blood tests will. How many grams of added sugar did you have yesterday? Not a calculation, just your honest gut feeling, a number. Drop it in the comments right now. I read every single one, and I will personally reply to the first 50. But here's where it gets interesting. The damage is real, but the reversal is also real, and it starts faster than any doctor will tell you in a 10-minute appointment. Your kidneys want to heal. Get out of their way. Let's be specific because eat less sugar is not a protocol. This is a protocol. Week 1, remove liquid fructose. Nothing else. Don't overhaul your entire diet on day 1. That's how people quit by day 4. Remove all drinks that contain fructose. Fruit juice, including freshly squeezed, including no added sugar, sodas, energy drinks, sports drinks, sweetened teas, flavored waters with added sugar, and the shop-bought smoothie with no fiber because everything's been blended into liquid and the fiber discarded. Keep all whole fruit. Eat the orange. Eat the mango. Keep the apple. The fiber in whole fruit fundamentally changes how your body absorbs the sugar. Your kidneys never see the concentration spike that comes from a glass of juice. Read labels for 7 days, or download any free food scanner app and let it do the work in 2 seconds. Look specifically for fructose, high fructose corn syrup, agave syrup, fruit juice concentrate, and honey in packaged foods. After 7 days, you'll stop needing to check. The pattern recognition becomes automatic. Week 2. Get below 25 grams of total added sugar per day. The World Health Organization's recommended daily maximum for added sugar is 25 grams, which is roughly 6 teaspoons. The average adult currently eats roughly 3 times that without knowing it. To make the number real, think about a splash of ketchup at lunch, a healthy, low-fat flavored yogurt at breakfast, and 2 tiny squares of milk chocolate as an evening snack. Boom! You've hit your daily limit, and you haven't even eaten anything that felt like junk food. Add just 1 glass of orange juice to that morning, and you've blown past 40 grams before your first meeting of the day. A single can of Coke alone contains 39 grams. You're not fighting a craving here. You're fighting a number engineered to be invisible on a label, a very different enemy, and one you can actually beat. If 25 grams feels too aggressive to start, aim for 50 grams for the first 2 weeks. Reduction beats perfection every time. A 40% cut sustained for 12 weeks does more measurable good for your kidneys than a 100% elimination that lasts 9 days. The walk. This one is non-negotiable, and it's free. Walking for 20 to 30 minutes, specifically after your largest meal of the day, sends sugar directly into your muscle tissue through a route that doesn't need insulin to open the door. Your muscles absorb the sugar before it reaches your kidneys in concentration. 30 minutes after your biggest meal. That's it. If you only take one practical thing from this video, make it that. Hydration. Here's one nobody talks about plainly enough. The most effective tool for preventing kidney stones costs nothing, has 0 side effects, and comes out of your tap. Most adults over 40 are mildly dehydrated almost every day, not dangerously, just enough that their urine is slowly concentrating calcium and uric acid into exactly the conditions kidney stones need to form. You're not sick, you're just consistently slightly dry. Aim for 2 to 2.5 liters of plain water spread across the day, not all at once. Drinking a liter in one go actually creates a spike in kidney pressure. If your urine runs pale yellow to clear for most of the day, you're where you need to be. Here's what the timeline actually looks like, honestly. Days 3 to 5. Water retention begins dropping. You may lose 1 to 2 kilograms, that's purely fluid, not fat. Just water your kidneys were holding onto to try to balance the sugar load in your blood. Weeks 2 to 3. Blood pressure begins responding. Not dramatic, a few points, but real and measurable. Weeks 4 to 6. If you're walking daily and staying under the sugar limit, your doctor should see improvement in your kidney function score. Ask them specifically for an eGFR test. That's just a simple score of how fast your filters are running. You want to see that number climbing back up toward 90. Also ask for protein in your urine. Both numbers should be moving in the right direction. Weeks 8 to 12. Your body's internal cellular alarm system begins to quiet down. This is when people start describing something they can't quite name. Clearer skin, better sleep, more stable energy throughout the day. That feeling isn't mysterious. That's what 12 weeks of reduced kidney pressure actually feels like from the inside. Do this consistently for 90 days, and your kidneys will be doing a job they haven't been able to do properly in years. Filtering cleanly, without overtime, without pressure. Here's the one thing I want you to carry out of this video. The healthiest drink at your breakfast table is not the juice. It's the water. Everything else is negotiable. That one swap, juice to water every morning, changes the fructose load hitting your kidneys before 9 a.m. by more than most 30-day detoxes achieve in a full month. Every week, this is exactly the kind of depth we go into here. Not another. Cut sugar, headline, the actual pipe that's broken and why. If you want the science behind what your body is actually doing, explain simply, every week, for free, subscribe and tap the bell. Not because I'll remind you to, but because these videos don't follow a calendar. They follow the science. When something worth your time is ready, you'll get it. That's the only promise this channel makes.